Thank you, Oprah, for having me. Thank you, Guy. So your fathers were very strict. Now here's the thing. You gone one-on-one with some fierce competitors in the ring, right? But now you were is one of the scariest situations any man can be in. Raising three daughters. Yes, yes, extremely scary. And are you a strict dad? Yes, I am not super strict, but discipline is important. But also, I go back to my dad. My dad left me with a small capacity in which he was capable of. So I learned from that and show with my daughters. I want to be as full and as present with the love that I give them. Present, yes, that's what we're talking about. What do you want to make sure that they get that you didn't get? And it's so interesting when you have children. I've seen this from a lot of people who you didn't get what you need. You just didn't get what you needed because of what the Rock just said. Your parents didn't have the capacity to give it to you. And now that you're the older, you have to learn to give that to yourself and to be able to give that to your children in a way that you don't carry on what was done to you. So, what is it you want your daughters to know about the way you love them? I want my daughter to know that I love them unconditionally, truly unconditionally, without condition. And I have a daughter who is 18 years old. Her name is Simon. Jasmine, who just turned 4 baby. Tiana, thank you, who is getting ready to turn 2. And I am, as I told my 18 years old daughter, Simon, I said I love you. I'm going to tell you I love you every day. I'm going to test you I love you. So you one of those who say the words out loud. Yes, because I didn't get that. And I look at you. I love you and I'm going to test you. But I also told her I'm unattached. You don't even have to test me back. Right? You could take me back. It's fine, but you don't have to. Like it's okay. It's without condition. It's unconditional love. And I also want to teach my daughters the values of hard work. More importantly, I want to teach my daughters the values of being kind and how important that is. Well, I read that your father, you used to watch him in training, and he would say, if I am going to get up at 6 a.m., you're going to get up at 6 a.m. So what do you think you got the most from him? Was it your work ethic? What was it? It was definitely my work ethic. My dad was a man who's against the odds makes it, but who would get up at usually 5:30 in the morning, and he would say, if I get up, you're going to get up too. He would drive me to the gym, and by the way, I'm 5 years old, and he would drive me to the gym. Yes, and I wouldn't work out, but he would just make sure that I was there and be with him, and that was our time that we could spend together. But I would say my work ethic from my dad, My dad always said to that, regardless of what you do in life and where you go, respect is going to be given when it's earned, and you have to go out and earn it every single day. Yeah. So your dad taught you a lot. I wonder what have your daughter taught you? My daughters taught me how to be, I think, more caring and more sensitive and more selfless. Yes. Were you there for all of them when they were born? I was right there. Right there? I mean, right there, yes. I mean, you were right there. I was right there. Yes, I bring it on. I mean, this is our moment. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And is that a life-changing moment when that happened for you? It's the greatest thing that I have ever experienced in my life, and it gave me such a profound respect for my baby hummy. I have two. I work one marriage, and now I'm happy married. I have two. I work one marriage, and now I'm happily married. Lawrence is back there. We know each other for 30 years now, but it has been the most profound experience of my life because also too, you know, when you meet as a man, you meet someone, you meet a woman, and this is going to be the one and you want to get married, and my first marriage didn't work out, but then the birth of a child, and what that does, and the lens perspectives that just shift, and it just gives me a new profound respect for again. There's moms as so it didn't work out with the marriage, but then she became your business partner, your first marriage. She did, yes, yes. We still are. So my ex-wife, Danny, we marriage didn't work out, and it was just one of those things where it wasn't an ugly divorce. It was just marriage wasn't in our cards. We rich friend marriage wasn't in our cards. But we both had an appetite for business and to accomplish things. And we thought, well, what if we continue to do business together? And do you think we can? And it felt like we could make something happen, and we did. I know you didn't grow up with a lot of money, and I read the story about when I think you were 15 and 3 was an eviction notice and notice on the door, and how that makes a big impression on you right now. I did, yes. Now you one of the highest paid actor in the world. You do alright. And does that title, the sexiest man alive, the highest pay in the, what do those titles mean, if anything?
You're the greatest, you're the most popular, you're the most followed, you're the most, you're the most, the most, the most, the most. It's great for the.
It's rich for the ego. It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. Yeah. The better question is.
Yes, the better question is how to do, how do you keep your ego in
How do you
check?
keep your ego in check when all of that is happening around you?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Very important.
Sure, very important. People I have around me.
People I have around me, and how important
And
that is.
how important, do you have anybody who can tell you the truth at this point? Yes, she called my wife. Yes. Okay, Lauren can tell you the truth. Yes, Lauren can tell me the truth. But by the way, and this is where
It's the tricky thing.
it's the tricky thing for you and I.
For us too, being in this position, is we want to make sure that we have people around us who are inspired to do well and reach for and continue to share our vision.
A vision, but also at times say, well, I'm not quite surely
Sure if that's the
this.
right thing to do. So look, I've had a wonderful career, especially coming from being evicted, and those titles are nice and everything is fine. But
But honestly, I'm so grateful to be in the position I am in.
so grateful to be in the position I'm in, and I never take anything for granted. I try not to.
Aren't you glad that's your worst one eviction?
Glad that you.
Aren't you glad that you were one evicted?
Because it gives you
Because
such
it gives you such an appreciation. Because it gives you such an appreciation for what you have now.
what you have now.
It just gives
It
such
just gives such perspective. When we were 14 years old,
When we were 14 years old, we lived in
we lived in Hawaii and we lived in a small efficiency apartment.
and
And we was, my mom and I came home.
I'll never forget the
And
rent
I will never this land.
was $180 a week, and there was an eviction a week, and there was an eviction notice on the.
Which, and that was an eviction notice on the door. And it were,
And it was this
this
one.
were the
It was
one,
final
this were the final eviction
That's the
notice.
one. My mom started crying, and I never forgot in that moment. It was a seminal moment for me because I felt like I never want to be in the
I never want to be in this position again.
position again.
What can I do?
Can I do? So at 14,
So at 14 years old, I thought, well, the heroes in my life,
well, the heroes in my life,
Muhammad Ali, for example,
wrestler,
professional.
they're all men who have worked hard with their hands and they built their body.
And they build their body. Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I'm
I'm
gonna do. I'm gonna do what my dad
gonna to do what my dad taught me, and these other heroes.
I go build my body.
I'm going to build my body so we'll never evicted again. But being evicted, by the way, as you were saying, has not only given me just great perspective,
but also great gratitude, but also, and my team and my family, we laugh at it, but I feel this way, like, well, you know, we're a month away from being evicted. I gotta go to work. Like, I still have that in my
You still
head.
have that.
I still have that in my head, you know, but it keeps you grounded, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why the most this and the most that, again, it's wonderful, but the alternative is what I once was.
And it
and it also doesn't change the way
also
you
doesn't
are,
change the way you're wired.
because I still share thoughts. I do.
I do. I will say
I will share a thought rather than throw it away.
and throw it away.
and I know there's going to be more toast, but I still do because there's something in fine. Because when we were growing up, we had to save it,
We had to save it.
save it.
Weren't allowed
You know, you weren't allowed to like throw food
to throw
away.
food away. So there was a really
So that's a really big deal. So here's the deal.
So here's the deal. You have now you get the biggest paychecks. You have all this money, acclaim, fame. You didn't have that growing up. How do you raise children
How do you raise children who have good senses and are also
who have
kind
good sense and are also kind when they have everything?
when they have everything?
Because part of
It's
what
part of what makes you who you are.
you are is
Is having had that eviction notice and having not had everything.
So how do you do
So how do you do that? How are you planning to do that with your children?
So, for example,
So, for example, with our
daughter,
18 years old daughter,
that we share
that we share the story about being evicted.
being evicted.
Her mom's parents were immigrants who came over from Cuba.
were immigrants who came over from Cuba.
It's important that we always share those stories and also we live, we try,
we try
and keep it as simple as we possibly can.
I live
I live, we have a farm
farm in Virginia.
in Virginia. Happily to say that
Happily to say that I moved my family
I moved my family here to Atlanta.
here
So,
to Atlanta. So, place 30,
like
45
30-45 minutes away where it's very
minutes away,
quiet,
where it's very quiet.
but also just making sure that we continue to instill in the babies and the kids the value of $1 and what it means and the values of food and always saying how grateful we are and the things that we grateful for,
especially at that
especially at that young age.
age.
So I want to know, how is success different from the way you imagine it would be?
I never
I never imagined this.
imagined this. I at one
Uh,
time
I at one time when I was a kid, I did feel in my heart and in my gut.
when I was a kid,
I at one time when I was kid, I did feel in my heart and
did
in my
feel
gut.
in my heart and in my
Gut.
that
That I was. That I thought. I think the world's going to hear from me.
was going to hear from me.
I don't know how, but I do feel that way.
But I do feel that way. But I never
But I never thought in my mind it was this level of success of
thought in my mind
fame
it was this level
even.
of success or fame even. It was I don't know how, but the world's
I don't know how, but the world is going to hear from me. So,
so
you
is
know,
maybe
which
why,
it maybe is why,
at times I
you know, at times I could walk around
walk around and I could look at things
and I could look at things like I am a big kid, like everything
like I'm a big kid.
can
Like everything can
at time
be like
at time can be like I am in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory,
a chocolate factory where I'm just really in awe.
where I'm just really in aware of everything that's really happening around me. What's the first thing you spoke on when you realize you had enough to splug?
realize you had enough to splurge?
Okay. So thing
the first thing I
splurged on. So when I was
I slug on. So when I was a kid, 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, in my mind, what he mean to be successful is were a Rolex watch.
what it meant to be successful, it was a Rolex watch. Right. So there was
Right. So there was such a valuable lesson out of this. So I talked
such a
for a
valuable
year.
lesson out of this. So I thought for years, oh wait, every successful man has a Rolex watch and has diamonds in it. So when I finally was making a little bit of money, and this was in 1999, and I thought, okay, and this, by the way, I was still living in an apartment, paying monthly rent.
Playing monthly rent bus again. Or you renting and buying a Rolex. As well just renting horrible financial.
Horrible financial decision.
You should definitely if you buy a Rolex, okay?
Buying a Rolex. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, this is what not to do.
So I thought,
So
this
I
is it.
thought this is it. I'm gonna splurge and I went
A splurge, and I went and I got
and I got myself a
myself a
Rolex
and
and I
wore
wore
at
it
that time.
at that time. I were wrestling. I
was
were
wrestling.
in
I
the
wore
ring,
not for a match.
not for a match, but I was doing an interviews in the ring,
And I wore
and I worked in the schedule in the ring, and a melee broke out, which always happen.
ring, and a melee broke out, which always happens in
It's the
wild
wild
professional wrestling.
rules of professional wrestling.